right, so The Romance of the Three Kingdoms is a historical novel written in the 1500s, early 1500s by Liu Guanzhong, and I love it. It's great, and no one else I know has read it, which is irritating. It's like reading Le Morte d'Arthur and finding out that no one around you has heard of Camelot or Lancelot. So I'll start the story. It begins at the end of the Han Dynasty, and the first round of troubles is when the Yellow Turban Rebellion led by Zheng Jiao, who preaches the way of peace and the overthrow of the Han Dynasty. This doesn't sit too well with the emperor, so he responds by getting as many aggressive and ambitious warriors as he can in one place. And how could that go wrong? And I'll talk about three of the warriors. The first is Cao Cao, the hero of chaos. He endears himself to the emperor by saving him from one of the armies that was summoned in the second frame, and more or less takes over the palace after that. More on him in a bit. The next one is Liu Bei, a humble sandal maker, distant relative to the emperor, and early on he swears an oath of brotherhood with two other heroes, Guan Yu and Zhang Fei, and they're sort of the side of good and virtue and Confucianism. And Sun Jian, as I say, the tiger of Jiangdong, he's so called because of his courage and audacity in youth. He finds the Jade Seal, or the Imperial Seal, that's what's going on. And Cao Cao, as I said, controls the emperor. And the emperor can do whatever Cao Cao lets him to, but it's not much of an empire. Cao Cao wants to expand it. Liu Bei gets a letter from the emperor and joins a conspiracy to remove Cao Cao from power. That doesn't work out too well. So Liu Bei flees the capital as fast as he can, gets out of time, of course, otherwise it'd be a short story. And meanwhile, in the south, Sun Jian founds his own kingdom. And later on, that passes on to his sons, first Sun Ce, then Sun Quan. And they're afraid that Cao Cao is going to expand his illegitimate power. And the fears come to a head when Cao Cao invades, and Liu Bei and Sun Quan set Cao Cao's army and navy on fire, and Cao Cao retreats back to the north. Liu Bei founds his own kingdom, and the Three Kingdoms, or era of the Three Kingdoms, has begun. Liu Bei and Sun Quan want to remove Cao Cao from power, but it's not like they really trust each other or get along as well. And that is the setup. That's like the first third of the story. It is a long story. My version is 2,000 pages, but it is worth it. I'm not going to tell you that you should read it because it would broaden your cultural horizons, or it's one of the 4 classical novels of Chinese literature, or that you get instant credibility if you travel to China as a tourist and talk about the Three Kingdoms. These are all true, but more to the point, it is an amazing story. It is a compelling narrative. It is packed with interesting characters that talks about virtue and loyalty and ambition and power and the costs and rewards of all those things. It's fantastic. So get it from lots of ways you can get it. Buy it, borrow it. There's a website online where you can read it if that's what you want to do, and I'll tell you about that in a moment. However, I'm willing to admit that it probably sounds daunting. So I'm going to suggest some ways to ease in and become familiar with the characters so that you're not overwhelmed with a bunch of unknown names talking about unfamiliar events to you. There's many Chinese movies. Here's 2 I like. Red Cliffs talks about the battle where Cao Cao's armies fall into the Yangtze River. Three Kingdoms is about Zhao Yun, one of Liu Bei's generals. Of course, the internet, www.threekingdoms.com, has many references, including the story itself. Wikipedia, of course, great reference for so many things, and big help to me putting this together. And of course, video games. Video games are a great way to become familiar with characters. Many of them with Three Kingdoms in the title. I mentioned Dynasty Warriors 7 because their story mode actually does a very good job of summarizing the story. So that's That's what I got. Read the story. Tell me what you think about it. And I'd like to thank Jamie Peake for helping me with the pronunciation.